So today we're going to do a video on stocks and shares ISAs for beginners 2025. So stocks and shares ISAs in the UK is one of the most tax efficient ways to make money in the UK. It's one of the easiest ways to make money in the UK, yet only 6% of us do it. So today, hopefully this helps you understand how to use a stocks and shares ISA, how to make money from it, and hopefully we'll look back in a few years' time, 10, 20, 30 years time, and you'll look back at this video and go, actually it was really easy to do, it only took me 10, 20 minutes, and this video here explained it to you very easy, and it was the reason why you went on to make 1, 2, 3 million pounds from the stock market in the UK. So I hope you enjoy the video, guys. Let's get started. So my main reason for doing this video today is because last week I found out that only 6% of UK adults have stocks and shares ISAs according to a 2024 survey. 6%, I could not believe this. One of the best ways to make money in a tax efficient way in the UK. One of the ways you can actually become a millionaire in the UK over long term, and only 6% of us are currently doing it at the moment. But what surprised me even more is that a quarter of Brits are currently, 26%, are planning to open a stocks and shares ISA in the tax year of 2024 to 2025. So right now, a quarter of us are looking to do it, but yet when it comes to the actual processing of doing it, not many of us are following through with it. And I thought, you know what? First of all, the education side of it. In the UK, our education system isn't the best. There should be more dedicated classes in the school system to understanding investments in the UK. There should be lessons on how to open a stocks and shares ISA, and there currently isn't. Hopefully that does change at some point with the UK government, so more people do want to look at opening up a stocks and shares ISA. But I think this is the big issue, is that there's even more people that are aware of it, but they just don't know how to. It sounds like it's going to be a 2, 3, 4-hour task, maybe even a couple of weeks task to open an ISA, and yet it's a process that only takes 10, 20 minutes, and in the next 10, 30 years, this could be something that makes you a millionaire in the UK. And I think the reason that's putting people off is because it just seems a complicated thing of setting a stocks and shares ISA up, yet it's really simple. So we want to try and get that 6% a lot higher in the UK. And if you are watching this video, well done, because you are one of the only 6% that could become a stocks and shares ISA user in the UK right now. Now, obviously, we want to have more wealth in the UK. You want to have more wealth in the UK because when we look at the moment, everyone's working harder. We're working more hours, and you want the option that if you wanted to work less hours, you have that option. But people are working harder because we're earning less. You know, you look at the current wage increase in the UK, the increased wage at the moment has fallen behind massively in the last few years. So people are wanting more money. The other thing as well is retirement in the UK just keeps going up and up and up. Currently it's increasing to 67, and then probably for most of you guys watching this video, it will be up to 68 and maybe even longer. Do you really want to work until you're 68? Probably not. And we're missing out on these gains. You could have had very good gains over the last few years if you were using your stocks and shares ISA, and it only takes a couple of minutes. If you look at the average return of the S&P 500, it's currently 12.3%. You could have earned 12.3% every year by just clicking a buy button once every couple of months. And in fact, it would have even been better than that in the last 5 years. If you were buying the S&P 500 in the UK through your stocks and shares ISA, you could have earned 80% in the last 5 years. And this is what it comes down to. If you want to be able to have those choices when you get older, if you want to have that little extra money, if you want to earn money without actually having to go to your job, that is what you have to do. You have to find a way to make the money you earn work for you and create more money. That is how you become successful. That's how you build wealth for the future. And an example of that is if you look at a compound interest calculator. So right now, if you were to deposit 5,000 and you were able to put 500 a month into your stocks and shares ISA with a 12%, that would earn you 131,000 in 10 years. So it shows you that you don't even need to be, even if you're a little bit worried that, okay, I'm actually getting quite close to retirement, it's never too late to start investing. Now, the benefit is if you're watching this video and you're a lot younger, you actually have time on your side. So obviously you're probably going to be working more than 10, 20 years. Let's say over the next 30 years, you were able to deposit £5,000 initially, get a 12% return by putting in the S&P 500 and depositing £500, you would actually earn just short of £2 million. And that's not including if you're able to deposit more money. For example, if you're able to get up to £1,000, which obviously not everyone would be able to do, but I just wanted to show you, that would actually be 3.6 million. So if you were able to do this at the age of 18, by the time you're 48, you would have 3.6 million, which is not too bad at all for not having to do anything. So how do we do this? Stocks and shares ISAs in the UK. So individual saving accounts, everyone is able to get an ISA, an individual savings account, a stocks and shares ISA. What they do is they allow you to go buy stocks in your ISA, and you are allowed to invest up to £20,000 a year. Whatever you buy in here and you sell in your ISA is tax free. So for example, if you were able to go buy the S&P 500 like we just showed, and let's say you come to the age of 30, 40 and you decide, actually I want to go take this money now, I want to go take my 3.6 million, I want to buy a couple of rental properties and I'm going to be able to leave my job. When you go sell that, it would all be tax free because you have been buying it in your stocks and shares ISA. That is one of the big benefits of the ISA. It is one of the biggest tax benefits we have in the UK, and people are not using it. Imagine making 3.6 million tax free over the next 30 years. It's very impressive, isn't it? So where do you get your stocks and shares ISA from? Personally, I would recommend Trading 212. In my opinion, that's the best stocks and shares ISA out there currently in the UK. I do have a link in the description, and if you do join through the link in the description, you can get a free fractional share worth up to £100 if you do join through that link. You join Trading 212, and hopefully as well you do get your free share. And the platform has no account fees. There's no fees to get to your stocks and shares ISA. When you're buying and selling things on there, it is completely free on Trading 212, and it's a very easy platform to use. Now, when we go onto the Trading 212 platform, like I said, in my opinion, you want to be making an investment that is safe, that you can just buy once every couple of months and you don't have to worry about it, and it's very easy to do. So like I shared in the video, in my opinion, the S&P 500 is what you want to be buying. Over the last 50 years, this has returned 12.3%. And actually in the last 5 years, it's actually returned over 80%. The S&P 500 is a relatively safer investment. What you are doing with the S&P 500 is you are buying a basket of 500 stocks. 500 of the best stocks in the world on the US markets. And what will happen is, because you're buying a basket of 500 stocks, if there was one stock that didn't work out, if there was one stock that went bankrupt, it would not matter because it would be replaced, and you would also have 499 other stocks that would hopefully perform very well, and you would get a very good return from it. So as we look at the S&P 500, that's how it's been able to perform so well over the last few years. And like I said, there's not really that risk of anything going that wrong with it, because you are buying that basket of stocks rather than an individual stock. And like I said, historically 12% return over the last 50 years. This is very much a good return that will beat most of the interest rates that you'll get in the bank account. It'll be a lot of property investments as well. And like I said, all you have to do in every couple of times a month is go on and buy this through your platform. So it is very easy to do. It only takes a minute to go do it. I think sometimes it's what puts people off, is I think it takes a long time to go do this. To buy the S&P 500 after you've signed up for Trading 212, it would only take a minute every single time. And I'm going to show you how to do it right now. So hopefully you've got your Trading 212 account signed up using the link in the description. I'm going to show me doing it. So you're going to go on the search bar at the bottom of your app. You can use the web browser if you want, but I think a lot of you guys will be using your iPhones or whatever phone you have. You go on the search at the bottom, and then you're going to type in the S&P 500. Coming up at the top should be the Vanguard ones. One's going to say accumulated, one's going to say distributed. The big difference between them is accumulated is you do get paid a dividend every year from the S&P 500. It's somewhere around a 1.2 or a 1.3%. So you actually as well get paid for owning the S&P 500. Accumulated, basically what will happen is that dividend will get invested back for you, so it buys more of the S&P 500 for you with the dividends. The distributed will mean that you get paid it. So depending on what stage you're at, you might want to go, just get me more wealth. At some point you might think, actually I want to get some of that wealth back and I want to use that dividend. It's your decision. So you can either choose the Vanguard distributed or accumulated. After you have decided which one you want, you're going to click on it. All you're going to do is enter the amount or slide the bar and decide how much you want to buy. You click buy and then that will get executed when the stock market is open between the hours of Monday to Friday. And like that, you are done. Under a minute it takes, and you are using your stocks and shares ISA and you are buying into the S&P 500. And just like that, you will hopefully get a good return. Like I said, the average return is 12%, but it is important to remember historical results aren't a guarantee of future results, but over a 50-year period, it does give you that certainty. And like I said, hopefully you can make some deposits every so often, and that will compound over the next 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 years. And if you can increase those monthly payments as well, you can see from what we showed you from this compound calculator at the start of the video, it's very easy to build wealth, and it allows you that option of that if you wanted to hopefully maybe reduce your hours later along in life, if you wanted to go and use that money for a rental property, if you wanted to pay off your mortgage, if you wanted to retire early, it gives you that option, because at the end of the day, that's what we want, don't we? Life is short. We all do not want to just work 5 days a week for the rest of our lives until we're 68. This is the way that you are going to be able to create wealth, and you're able to go do things with your life, and that is having this money that allows you to do it. And hopefully this 10-15 minute video today is the reason why in 10, 20, 30 years time you are a very happy rich person with your stocks and shares ISA. Thanks for watching, guys. See you in a bit.